So this season, summer 2024, is one of the most stacked seasons I've ever experienced in my whole entire life. I'm going to recommend 17 animes this season. And that doesn't even count continuations. We'll try to get through this. As per usual, I will divide these 17 animes into two. The first shows that you must watch, shows that you will have to watch or not you'll be left behind by the anime community, or 3-episode rules anime, where you watch 3 episodes and see whether you like it or not after those 3 episodes. The first anime has a giant caveat in it. Dead Demons Dead Destruction. The first caveat is that A, it aired last season technically. It sort of aired in the middle of last season. Secondly, the show technically already aired in movie format. It is unironically one of the best animes this year. The show is about Anton and Kadobe growing up into adults, while at the same time there's this giant UFO that somehow just is sort of on top of Tokyo, as the threat of human extermination slowly creeps in. So the show has 3 themes going on. The first theme is that slice of life theme where Anton and Kadobe goes through, high school, hangs out with their friends, experience a loss, experience heartbreak in the form of relationships not working. There's another theme of that human extermination threat. The world doesn't know what to do with this giant UFO that is just sort of on top of Tokyo. The US government is constantly trying to throw atomic bombs at it. The Japanese is trying to make this toy weapon that is killing the aliens. They're sending soldiers to kill out aliens that is coming out of the UFO. And of course, there's this third theme, which is just comedy, solely getting carried by Anton herself. Anton is the most charismatic, wackadoodle, insane anime character. I freaking love Anton. There's an explanation on why she's so weird. I won't go into specific details because it's sort of a spoiler. Comedy slaps. The way the show just sort of transitions between these 3 different themes, between, again, that human destruction, slice of life, comedy, just scene after scene after scene. In one scene, you could see, a girl finally getting accepted for being the cross-dresser that inside she wants to be. And then boom, another scene, you see the annihilation of thousands of aliens, thousands of innocent aliens. And another scene where it's just Anton being wackadoodle crazy. Honestly, I would go on longer, but Dedede is one of the best anime this year. This year of 2024 features a lot of anime that talks about YouTube, the struggles of content creating. My Naka Punch is another one. Masaki, our main character, is a girl who recently got cancelled for punching her colleague for some whatever reason. And out of pure coincidence, Masaki meets this vampire and promises this vampire that if she gets 1 million subscribers in YouTube, she will let this vampire suck her blood dry to the bone marrow, as the show specifically says. Out of all of the animes that talk about YouTube content creating, this is probably the most accurate. It shows the struggle of, starting out. It shows the struggle of wanting to be different. It shows the struggle of constantly trying to think of video ideas. Again, it's honestly one of the most accurate animes when it comes to content creating, and this is solely credited to PA Works. PA Works occasionally do these niche animes that talk about niche topics, and when they do, they go in depth to it. They do their research when making those type of animes, and it clearly shows in My Naka Punch. The animation looks wonderful as per usual with PA Works, and if you're into that content creating side of YouTube, I guess, I think My Naka Punch is a good watch. Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. This is one of the most popular animes coming out this season. It follows Alia, who is a Russian girl who has this giant crush on the main character. Alia occasionally spews out her true feelings to the main character. On the exterior, she's just sort of like is the tsundere character. The animation in this looks amazing. It's being adapted by Doga Kobo, who this season is also doing Oshinoko, which, you know, you would expect Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feeling in Russian to look sort of bad because, you know, all that animation work, all that effort is going to Oshinoko. But no, Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feeling in Russian looks pretty good. It looks very standard to how Doga Kobo animates, and it's, you know, it's very nice. My favorite thing with Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian is the little sister. The little sister is sort of one of us. She's a bit of a gremlin. She uses internet slang. She's very internet savvy. If this was a harem, she would be my choice on winning the main character's love. But obviously that's not gonna happen because the sister is actually blood related, and that would just be wrong in so many levels. But yeah, I think Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feeling is a good watch. I think it's a 3-episode roller though. Pseudo harem. So pseudo harem follows Nanakura, who has a crush with her senpai. Nanakura acts like typical anime girls, right? She sometimes acts like a tsundere. She sometimes acts like the cool girl. She sometimes acts like the demon girl, like your typical Nagatoro type. Whatever it is, whatever character she plays it very, very well. The voice actress for pseudo harem, Hayami Saori, is really good portraying these different character archetypes, and I just find Nanakura just so adorable. Her genuine love for senpai is truly nice, and the senpai also has a bit of a character. He likes to troll Nanakura a little bit. I sort of get why Nanakura would have a crush with senpai. Senpai, in a sense, is sort of charismatic in his own right. If you watch this show in 3 episodes and you like Nanakura and her acting on those like anime girl archetypes, I would think you would love Pseudo Harem. Same with Make-ine. Make-ine, short for Too Many Losing Heroines. This is a parody romance anime. So it follows these 3 girls who just lost, right? If you think of those romance animes, you think of the winning girl and the loser girl. You got 3 loser girls here. This show is definitely a parody, so if you watch a bunch of harem animes, if you watch a bunch of romance anime, you will definitely find the parody funny. If you don't, it's very hard to get. This anime is also, like, again, really well animated. It's shocking on how many shows in this season is very well animated. This is being done by A1 Pictures, and I guess there's not a Sword Art Online anime coming out soon because this looks fantastic. That one scene with the freaking brown girl in the closet, oh my god, bro. I mean, she's got my vote. You sort of get the jokes with the losing girl. Make-ine's fun. Make-ine's a lot of fun. The magical girl and the evil lieutenant used to be arch enemies. This show is a 12-minute episode anime. Very rare for me to recommend those type of short anime. It follows this evil lieutenant who has a crush at the magical girl, who is getting taken advantage of by her magical girl pet, who sort of acts like a yakuza, is sort of just like a terrible person. It's sort of funny in that way. This show is being adapted by Studio Bones, of all people. I don't remember the last time Studio Bones did a short anime. It's typical Studio Bones. This show looks fantastic. I think the reason why this show is 12 minutes long is because the mangaka died. There isn't that much of material to adapt, so I'm guessing we'll get a full adaptation in the 12 episodes that this is projected to have. There's a reason why, despite all of that, this show is getting adapted. This story is heartwarming, it's cute, it's fun. It's a mahou shoujo anime at the end of the day, and not a lot of people are into mahou shoujo animes. So, yeah, I think it's a 3-episode ruler, but worst case scenario, you're wasting 36 minutes of your time. The Shoshimin series. So, it turns out, the Shoshimin series is a very popular novel series. So it follows 2 kids, Osana and Yukobato, as they solve like little mysteries that are happening in the town. Who stole this girl's purse? Or how did this dude make killer hot chocolate? Or who stole my bike? It's a slice of life mystery anime, which is a very odd combination, but Shoshimin makes it work. Lapin Track is doing this, and honestly, it's shocking on how good this anime looks. Paced really, really well. I like how they use music in this anime. And the plot is whatever because it's a slice of life anime, but the mystery aspect is what makes it fun. Love is indivisible by twins. This show is about Jun, our main character, being the crush of these two twins. So one day, the older sister of the two twins asked out Jun and she's like, hey Jun, let's go out. And they go out, you know, the older sister's all happy and dandy, they have a wonderful time. But the older sister sort of feels guilty because the older sister knows that the little sister actually has a crush on Jun for the longest time. Because of that guilt, the older sister breaks up with Jun and convinces Jun to ask out the little sister and have them do their own thing. Of course, the older sister is sort of like, oh man, I sort of regret doing that. I sort of like Jun. And Jun sort of is regretting that too because Jun actually likes the older sister a little bit more. If you can't tell from me explaining this dumpster fire of a plot, this show is a bit of a dumpster fire. But romance dumpster fires, they have an audience. Me, I'm the audience. For the people out there, right, who watch my video. And the fewer people who likes to watch romance dumpster fires. Love is Indivisible by Twins falls into that category like a glove. And if you just want to watch a fucking genuine dumpster fire continuing and slowly burning into a bigger dumpster fire, Love is Indivisible by Twins is a show for you. My wife has no emotion is the first sign of humanity's downfall. Takuma is a guy who owns a robot who specializes in cooking. One day, Takuma gets a little drunk and asks out the robot for marriage. Robot being a robot, would just be like, yeah dude, whatever, I'll look it up. And so they're married and they do that lovey-dovey crap. I like how the show portrays the robot because it's sort of not clear on if Mina actually likes Takumi or Mina is literally coded to do whatever the master wants. The relationship between Takuma and Mina is very nice and very wholesome, something that you want to thrive for in real life. Obviously not with a robot or not with an inanimate object, but it's sort of nice, you know, you see Takuma like cuddling with his robot wife or genuinely like caring for his robot wife. It's just a fun time. I generally think this is a really good romance. Atori is a similar concept to My Wife Has No Emotion. We follow Natsuki, who one day takes her his submarine, goes to his mother's old laboratory and finds this girl, this high-functioning android called Atori. Atori is a very lively, joyful robot who acts like a real human girl. Natsuki's main goal is to sell Atori and to get a new leg because he doesn't have a left leg. But obviously it's hard to do that because Atori, well, it sort of acts like a human being. It sort of feels like human trafficking if Natsuki tries to sell Atori. The main sell of this show is Atori. If you find Atori's joyful and Genki self fascinating, or you just simply like Atori, I think you will like this show. There's another aspect to it. There's this mystery aspect of Atori's final mission, but Atori doesn't know what the final mission is. We don't really know what happened with Natsuki's mother or what happened to this world and how global warming became this extreme. There's a little bit of plot in it, but like it's not really that much interesting as Atori herself. VTuber legend, how I went viral after forgetting to turn off my stream. So, as the title explained, the show is about this VTuber who forgets to turn off his stream and shows to the world her true self. This alcoholic, lemon sour loving, she's one of us. She's sort of a internet creature, you know what I mean? She gets internet slang, she goons all the time. She asks VTubers for marriage. She wants to have lesbian sex with one of the VTubers. She's honestly, again, just one of us. And she is as degenerate as they come when it comes to a VTuber. It's sort of realistic on how the VTuber scene is right now. The show definitely gets VTubing. I think it's a very nice anime about VTubers, you know, and we sort of need a good anime about VTubers after that Kizuna Eye anime that came out like, what, 2 years ago? Finally, a good anime about VTubers. I don't know why I like Ramen Akaneko. I'm gonna just be honest here. The animation is terrible. Occasionally, the main character is hand-drawn animated, and sometimes she's 3D animated. The show just doesn't look good. There's nothing really about this show that stands out. Why am I even bringing it up? As I've grown, maybe it's just the person that I am right now. I'm sort of jealous at the main character in this show. She just has the perfect job. She's got really friendly colleagues. She's got a boss that feeds her lunch every day and isn't a pain in the ass. It's just sort of love Tamako's work relationship right now. If you're a guy who works, right, who has a job, I feel like Ramen Akaneko is sort of like a feel-good show, in a sense. Dungeon no Nakanohita, Dungeon People. This show follows Clay. Clay is one of the best dungeon crawlers in this world. She goes through like 9 level, while the best person outside of Clay only could get to the 7th level. And somehow, some way, Clay figures out the inner workings of the dungeon and meets Belle, who runs this dungeon. Belle is slumped running the dungeon. She decides to hire Clay to sort of help her out with running the dungeon. Character design in the show is wonderful. I just love how Belle and Clay look. The author of this show is very creative in how inner workings of a dungeon would be canon. Why the fuck and how the fuck can a skeleton just spawn out of nowhere? Where does the skeleton go after you kill it? How does the materials pop up in the random chest in the dungeon? All of these questions is answered by Dungeon People. And also it goes to the aspect of sort of Ramen Akaneko. Clay has a good job. It has a boss that isn't a dick, has a workload that is manageable. It's animated by OLM. It looks good enough. There isn't that much action in this anime. You'll occasionally see it in like every 2 episodes. I like it enough to recommend it. Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. So it turns out this show is a game adaptation. It's a very simple story. Follow this rice goddess who accidentally blow up her rice stock, makes the big god, and she's like, yo dude, where's the rice go? And I was like, I don't know, I blow it up. And God himself is like, yo, rice god, I'll throw you away to the freaking demon island and go make rice, dude. Rice God doesn't know how to make rice. And he learns how to make rice with his fellow human friends who are sort of annoying. They sort of suck. They don't really help out. Like you would imagine they would know how to make rice or at least help out in any way, shape, or form. But they sort of don't. The nun just keeps on burning food. I don't even know how the fuck you keep on burning food. Burn like a 10-pound deer leg. What makes me want to recommend this show? It's actually well animated. It's being done by PA Works again. Sakuna, I find, is quite charismatic. The first episode, she's sort of this spoiled brat. She doesn't want to do any work, but like by the 3rd episode, she gets her feet in the ground. She starts doing some solid work. I mean, who doesn't love a lolly planting rice in the middle of an island? Don't expect much of the plot, but when it comes to animation, when it comes to Sakuna being a charismatic character, this is quite fun to watch. The Elusive Samurai is one of the best looking anime this year. I don't know why this show isn't talked about more than it is. So it follows Tokiyuki Honjo, who is a prince of a kingdom who recently got annexed by its shogun. When it comes to plot, isn't really much. Boy is trying to gain back his kingdom after it gets annexed by the shogun. The animation, the directing in this is spectacular. So there's 2 main themes that is going on in Elusive Samurai. The first theme is this bloody, brutal anime that you see like the families get beheaded. You see little kids get beheaded, getting betrayed by the people that they trusted for their whole lives. And in another sense, you see a freaking comedy. There's a scene where a kid literally gets beheaded. A little child, no older than 10 years old. And another scene, you see a god with a fucking light bulb in his head, turning on and off that light bulb. It's insane, and it works. It somehow works. The directing in this is absolutely phenomenal. And the animation on top of that, oh my god. It's Cloverworks. It's being directed by Yamazaki Yuta, this is one of the best looking anime this year. And I mean it too. The last PA Works adaptation that I'm going to recommend this season is Nanare Hananare. This show is about cheerleading. The main girl, Kanata, got the case of the yips. She got into a cheerleading accident. She's sort of scared of being tossed up into the sky, which is very fair. As of now, there's not really much going on with the plot. They started a cheerleading squad and they sort of just uploaded stuff in YouTube. But it's a PA Works adaptation. They usually make these shows like the first 6 episodes, it's just a bit of a nothing burger. You get to know the characters, you get to know their characteristics, but nothing really happened. At the second half of the anime, something happened and it becomes very, very dramatic. For fuck's sake, this anime has a girl in a wheelchair. Like this show, I bet, by like episode 10, 11, 12, will make me cry, will make me shed a tear, will make me feel emotional. Because that's just what PA Works does. And of course, last but not least, Shika Noko 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 Koshitanta. Ever since the trailer dropped 2-3 months ago, has been in everyone's minds. To the point, the expectations of this anime is so high. I mean, I came into the show expecting the funniest anime of all time. Dude, this show is pretty funny. The plot doesn't matter, but what matters is its comedy. The comedy is so fast-paced. Shika Noko Noko Koshitanta will just keeps on throwing you jokes, like 10 jokes, 20 jokes in like the span of 5-10 minutes. Maybe not every one of those jokes are funny. Maybe 80% or 90% of those jokes are funny. But with that percentage, since there's so much jokes that is being thrown at you, you can't help to find comedic value in Shika Noko Noko Koshitanta. The hype is warranted. They have Koshitan dancing like Bully Maguire in this show. That in itself should warrant you watching Shika Noko Noko Koshitanta.